me show you why. So a rule in OSPF is that each area has to be connected to area 0. So if we look at our diagram, we see area 1 is directly connected to area 0. We see area 2. Let me change color here to something easier to read. Alright, so it's area 2 and area 0, area 1 and area 0, and area 23 and area 0. So we see all three of those are connected. What area do we have left? We have area 3. Area 3 has no connection to area 0. So what's going to happen is when R2 receives a type 3 LSA from a non-backbone area, it's going to just discard it. I don't want it. And the reason it does this is that a multi-area OSPF domain uses this method to help prevent from routing loops. So it says that all routes have to go through area 0. Right, not all traffic, but all routes. So we have to have some way to get around this, of course. So what we can do is we set up a virtual link. And what this will let us do is it'll let us extend area 0 out to router 3. So when we configure this virtual link, we will have that connection between area 0 and area 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and set that up. Alright, so to set this up, we want to set the virtual link between R2 and R3 as seen here. So we want to go to R2, edit protocols, OSPF, area 0, set virtual link. Alright, so here it wants a neighbor ID. The neighbor ID by default is calculated at the time the OSPF process is brought up, and it's going to be based off the highest loopback interface available that's currently configured. So if on R3 we have a loopback of 3.3.3 that was already configured when we started the OSPF process by configuring it, the OSPF process ID or neighbor ID or router ID should be set to 3.3.3.3. So to confirm that, if we do show OSPF overview, you can see our router ID. And we'll do the same thing on R2, just to confirm. So on R2, it should be set to 2.2.2.2. Router ID 2.2.2.2. Now, if we wanted to manually change this, you can. And you do this on the router options. So set routing options, router ID, and then I can set it to whatever I want. Alright, but we're not going to worry about that right now. And we're just going to finish configuring this virtual link. So edit protocols, OSPF, area 0, set virtual link, the neighbor ID, which is going to be the RID or router ID of R3, and then the transit area. This is the area that this virtual link will be transiting over. So in our case, it's going to be area 23. All right, to the top, show compare. You see all we did here was add the virtual link. All right. Edit configuration mode. Edit protocols. OSPF. Area 0. Set virtual link. Neighbor ID is going to be 2.2.2.2. Transit area. Area 23. Hit enter. Top. Do a show compare. See, that's what I set. And now commit. Did we do the commit on R2 already? No, we didn't. Commit. So how do we confirm how I'm peered with another router? All right. So we can use the show OSPF neighbor. So this confirms that I have a full adjacency with router ID 2.2.2.2, which in our instance is R2. And it shows us over which interface we have this connection. Now we see we have two links here, but only one physical interface in our drawing. The reason for this is that it actually creates a virtual interface, I guess you could call it, or virtual link, hence the name. And the adjacency is formed over that link. We can confirm this by going to R2, show OSPF neighbor, and we see the virtual link to 3.3.3.3. Also, if you want to see what area each interface is in, we can do that with the show OSPF interface. If we look at the virtual link, see that's a point-to-point connection in area 0. It doesn't have a designated router ID or a backup designated router ID for this link because on a point-to-point link you don't need one. Alright, so let's go back to R3, show route, make sure the link's still in there. And now we're going to do the ping from before, and we see we have full end-to-end connectivity. All right. Just for completion, I'm going to go ahead and remove this virtual link, and we're going to see that the route 23.3.3 will disappear from R1. All right. So here's the current link. Delete protocols, OSPF, area 0. We're just going to delete the whole area because that's the only thing we have configured for it. And we're going to confirm what we've deleted by doing a show compare. All right, that's exactly what we wanted. We're going to commit. And now come over here. We run it. It'll take a little bit for it to be removed. R2 has already accepted that LSA. But to speed things up, I'm going to clear the neighbor. And we see that it's disappeared. Alright, so we don't have reachability anymore. Alright. So I hope you learned a little bit more about how to configure OSPF on a Juniper device. Thanks.